Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching today. Today, I'm joined by Alison Carr, who is the writer of the play The Last Quiz Night on Earth, which is about to set on a new tour. The tour starts at the Derby Brewery Arms in Manchester on February 23rd. Hello, Alison. Thank you for your time again
Hello.
today.
No
Can you
problem.
please start by introducing yourself and tell me a little bit more about the show?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Alison Carr. I'm a playwright, and I've written The Last Quiz Night on Earth, which Box of Tricks Theatre Company are touring around, like you say, from February to April. And it's a immersive comedy that is set in the Four Horsemen pub on the last night on Earth. So we're going to be destroyed by a world-ending asteroid. And we've all come to the pub for a pint and a quiz because, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
And then people turn up. So we've got landlady Kathy and quizmaster Rav. And then a couple of people from their past turn up to say some unsaid things and right some wrongs because this is their last chance. So yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, where did the idea for the show come from?
Well, Box of Tricks approached me and asked me if I would write their new immersive show for their sort of tour that goes around non-theatre spaces, so pubs, village halls, community centres, those sort of venues. I started with the idea of the pub quiz because I thought, who doesn't love a quiz? I thought the audiences would enjoy that, and then it was finding sort of what I could bring to the table in terms of what would make that a different night out. So, the end of the world, thought, well, the stakes can't get much higher than the world ending. So it all just sort of came together from there, really.
Yeah, obviously it promises to be immersive. Obviously there is the actual quiz element as well within the show. Yeah. Kind of what can audiences expect from coming to a performance?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The quiz is an integral part of the play. So audiences they can play in a team, so they can come as a team if they want, or they can come and make a team with their table or with, their neighbour who's sitting next to them. It's pretty flexible. So it's a real quiz with real questions and real answers and real prizes. And so they're invited to play the quiz, play along, and it's really important part of the show. And there's interaction with Rav, the quizmaster, and Kathy, the landlady. And then, just the story that's kind of being told around the quiz of the world ending and of these relationships. And like I say, these last chances to say what needs to be said and to make those connections or right those wrongs, because it is literally the last chance.
Yeah, obviously, as you say, the quiz element. Are you much of a quizzer yourself, would you say?
Do you know what? I'm not. I'm really bad at quizzes. Maybe this was me sort of exorcising some quiz demons.
Yeah.
I'm good at film and TV. Yeah. That is my area of expertise. Really dreadful at like general knowledge, geography. Really poor. So I do, when I go and see the show, I do tend to play along with the quiz, and I do get very competitive, even though I already know the answers because I wrote the quiz.
Yeah.
And I've still lost. So when it toured around before the pandemic, I actively tried to win the quiz, and I still didn't win the quiz. So, but there is a new quiz now. So if you did see it the last time, there's a brand new quiz. So come again.
And has kind of the pandemic changed it in at all, kind of the approach to it, or
a little bit? So I did do, so it was touring, on tour when the pandemic closed everything down. So it had done about half of its tour, and then this is it coming back to sort of to go to places it didn't get to, and also to go to some new places as well. Fundamentally it hasn't changed too much. I did a little bit of tweaking of it over the last sort of couple of years, and like I say, I've written a new quiz, but otherwise it's pretty much as was.
And obviously having that time, does it kind of it's probably unusual, kind of having a play that you started, then having that break in between. Then, kind of, how's that kind of for you?
Yeah, it was such, when it closed, it was obviously, so many people had shows closed.
Yeah.
Not in any way particular to this, but it was heartbreaking because so much work had gone into it and audiences were really enjoying it, and it still had venues to go to. So I'm so glad it's coming back, because it just feels like it's always been sort of there in the background, sort of not completed. So to get to do it again, you're so lucky. So many shows haven't had that opportunity to come back. So really, really lucky to get to do it again. And I did learn stuff from when it was on previously, in terms of the audience interaction and how to maybe position some information, some of the plot a little bit better to how the audiences were responding to it. So I've done a few tweaks like that. And it just feels, it's just so lovely to have it back again. And I've kept in touch with Box of Tricks over the pandemic. I've worked with them. I did some of their masterclass workshops, and they invited me to write a Christmas special of quiz night called Last Quizmas, which we did on Zoom. So it's always been sort of alive and ticking away, and now it's just getting to bring it back.
Yeah, and obviously the tour is going to kind of community spaces, I suppose. Is that kind of important to you, kind of obviously getting out into, rather than just doing big theatres?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we took it out last time, you're taking it into these venues, and a lot of places that I'd never been to, and I'd not seen any theatre there, or performances, and the audience is just so, the audience reaction was just so warm and so welcoming. And some venues get to have a pie and some peas, and I mean, my God, who doesn't want a pie in a show? That is my idea of heaven. So it's just lovely to take, and it's that difference of, I think, if you have a show in a traditional theatre space on a stage, your audience are coming to the show, and there's that sort of slight disconnect if you're in the audience and the show's on the stage. Whereas with this, we're going into their spaces, into these community spaces, and there is absolutely no divide. The actors are right in with the audience, and it just makes it just a really dynamic, and it's different every night. Every performance is different because the audience are bringing something different. So it's really fun.
And the big question, though, if there was the asteroid hitting Earth, say today, what would you do with that time?
Oh my Lord, today! God, it's 2:00 already. I don't know what I would do. Oh no, I don't know what I would do with the time. I like to think I'd do something really important, but I probably would just eat all the food I could possibly find. Nice cup of tea. Nothing too exciting, I don't think.
That's pretty solid, though.
Yeah, well, can't beat a nice cup of tea.
No, that is true. I have 5 quick fire questions, as I call them.
Oh, okay.
So, what was the first piece of theatre that you can remember seeing?
Oh, it would have been a pantomime. I couldn't tell you which pantomime, and I remember being scared of the lights going down, because my parents had warned me about everything they could think of, apart from the fact that the lights went off, and I got really scared. Yeah.
And what was your favourite piece of theatre that you've ever seen would be?
Sorry, I'm not being very quick fire, am I?
That's all right.
Favourite piece of theatre. I love all theatre. I love a musical. You can't beat a musical. Yes. I think Return to the Forbidden Planet, the musical Return to the Forbidden Planet. I love that. I saw it so many times. So that's probably up there as one of my favourites.
Yeah. This doesn't have to be kind of theatre related, but what would be one thing on your bucket list?
Just one thing?
One thing.
Ooh, I'd like to be in a musical, like a big one. I mean, I'm not a singer. I don't sing. But like a proper... Or actually, be a pop star. When they're on arena tours and they pop out of those sort of elevators. I'd love to do that, actually.
That'd be good.
It's an unachievable goal, but, dream big.
You never know.
You never know. Steps might ring. I'm ready.
Exactly. You never know. This is a more of a difficult one. If you could have dinner with 3 guests, they can be dead or alive. Well, hopefully they're alive at the party, but who are you inviting?
Right. Three. Well, Dolly Parton,
Yeah.
obviously. Imelda Staunton, love Imelda.
Yeah.
Who would be the third one? Victoria Wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't believe it took me so long. Victoria Wood. Yeah.
Yes. No, I thought you were going to say that. I was reading one of your other interviews earlier, and I thought you might say Victoria Wood. So.
Yeah, I do love Victoria Wood. I'm ashamed that she was number 3, but yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. Under pressure, you see. What would be,
the pressure got to me there.
What would be the kind of best piece of advice you've been given ever?
Ever? Oh gosh, best piece of advice ever. My words. I think the best piece of advice I ever got as a writer was to take myself more seriously. And I don't mean that as to be very sort of deep and meaningful, but I think I think a lot of people struggle to actually call themselves writers, and I think it sometimes takes a lot. People don't think they deserve that title, but I think to be willing and able and to be able to call yourself a writer and to take your work seriously, don't necessarily take yourself seriously, but to take your work seriously and allow you, sort of give yourself permission to do that. I think that was a good piece of advice.
That is very good. And my final question for you today would be simply, why should audiences come and see the show?
Because it's great fun, and I think what we need more than ever is great fun, and it's funny, and like I say, there's a quiz and there might be pie. I mean, I can't, not all venues, but some venues have pie, and it's a great cast, great company, and it's just a really, really good night out, and I don't think we can want much more at the minute.
No, that is a brilliant answer, and that wraps it up brilliantly. So thank you for your time today. I hope the production goes well.
Thanks very much.
And yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much.